Hey modders, welcome back to ModifedRoll. Don't forget we're sponsored by DN Dice. Check out the link to their website in our description, or head over to dndice.co.uk and use the code ModifedRoll for 10% off all purchases. In the last episode, the party did what they could to rescue the people they found within the Knight's Valor Keep. Well, some of the party did. Sinclair, trailed by Cecil, moved back down to the bottom of the keep to confront the knight he knew would be there. Moving to enact immediate vengeance, Sinclair and Cecil engaged, while Giliana and Twilight guided the villagers they'd rescued out of the keep. We join them now while the conflict rages. In this, Episode 5 of Season 2 of ModifedRoll, The Head of the Serpent. The knight at this point shakes himself. You can see him shaking off the effects of your attack, and he steps down and steps forward. He moves to position himself in a way that he can engage you while keeping Sinclair at an arm's distance, drawing his sword to attack. Damn. He steps forward, quickly unleashing a barrage of attacks. The first, he swings overhead and you catch on your axe and pull to the side. He attempts to follow up, but you, knowing that he was going to press the advantage, you catch the hilt of the hilt of the sword with the edge of your axe, pulling it down, dropping it out of his grip. You quickly disarm him as his second attack rolled a 1. His great sword clatters to the floor, leaving him unarmed. Great turn, dickhead! Liana, you've arrived on the second floor. You've been here previously. You know that there's no way out of this floor. Do you continue down to the ground?
Yeah.
As you head down the stairway, you hear the sounds of battle echoing up the stairwell towards you. As you reach the ground floor, the bottom of the stairwell, you again hear this concussive blast. You can almost see the dust on the floor around you jump into the air as this sound echoes throughout the keep. As you reach the ground floor, you can see through the doorway. You can see Sinclair with his sword bared and covered in blood, a guard at his feet, Cecil next to him, standing with his axe at hand. You can just about make out the bodies of the guards lying on the floor and the weapon of the knight lying next to Cecil's feet. You can't really do much more other than reach the floor. Do you want to take any sort of free action, say anything, do anything other than a bonus action or anything other than that?
No.
Okay. Sinclair, Cecil has just taken out the rest of the guards and the knight has stepped forward and attacked him. Cecil has managed to disarm him during one of his attacks. I'm going to assume you like to press your advantage here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know Sinclair well. Yeah, he's going to step forward.
You step up to the knight who had attempted to keep himself at arm length from you. Roll to attack.
19.
A 19 will hit.
Very nice. Right, that is 16 points of slashing damage because I rolled max on both the d6.
You step forward, great sword in hand. The knight has been disarmed, but he turns towards you. You can tell he intends to deflect whatever blow that comes. There's no finesse in your strike. The anger that you felt is boiling in your blood. You raise your sword slowly, with every intention to let this man know what attack is coming and where it is coming from. The inevitability that you're going to hit him. You savor that moment, and you register the fear in his eyes. And then your sword comes down. You catch him in the shoulder, in the pauldron of his plate armor, and you crush it. You cut into it, denting it, cracking it, as the sound echoes around the room. He cries out in pain. One of his legs gives out and he drops to one knee from the force of the blow. You wrench your great sword free, and blood erupts from the wound. The man is still standing, but he was not expecting such ferocity. Do you do anything else on your turn?
Nope, there's nothing else I can do. Shall stay where he is.
Twilight, Giliana has headed on ahead with the people following her. You're sort of ushering them past you on the stairs as these group of people follow you down. Will you sort of again follow down with Giliana as she goes, or are you going to run ahead of her to assist? Again, you've heard this concussive blast erupt, and then a roar from Sinclair as you can hear him pressing the attack, and an almighty crack of what sounds like metal being split.
God. So when that sound happens, she'll kind of jolt awake a bit because she was a bit out of it, and she'll turn to the people following and be like, "Ooh, sounds like they're having fun." And then it's just gonna keep walking back down, join Giliana. Hi, help.
Fair enough. Will, at this point, you, with the crowd of people, also reach the ground floor. Looking past Giliana, you can see through the open doorway, you see Sinclair with his great sword coated in blood, Cecil with his hand axe in hand, and the knight currently knelt down on one knee, blood pouring from a wound in his shoulder, which is just completely shattered through his plate mail armor. Cecil. The knight is before you, crushed under Sinclair's blow. He's still standing, technically, and still fighting. What would Cecil do?
I'm just going to grab the hand axe, following up on Sinclair's attack. I'm just going to swing overhead with the hand axe towards the knight.
Yep, roll the attack.
So that is a 19.
Bloody hell, that also hits. So roll damage.
7.
Okay,
6 plus 1.
Yet again, with this knight, he's already been pushed down to one knee in front of you. You know that from this angle, you can again crush him. The shoulder, the side closest to you, having had Sinclair crush his opposite shoulder.
I'm going to, with this, so I'm swinging the hand axe over and making sure it gets stuck inside the body, and then using a bonus action with my unarmed strike, I'm going to try and punch the hand axe.
Shit. Oh my god! Well, that's coming from the guy who impaled the man!
You reach overhand and you cut. With him knelt down in front of you, you can see the joints in his armor across his shoulder paulders quite clearly, and you aim for one of these joints and you cut down through a point where the two plates of the armor meet. Roll me your...
this is going to be me trying to push the hand axe in.
Yeah, roll the unarmed strike.
That'll be an 18.
Oh, that just hits. You strike with your axe into the joint, and knowing that it is fully embedded there, the knight cries out in pain, and you pull back and you clench your fist and you strike the flat on the back head of the axe like you did previously, punching it further into the wound. Roll your damage.
That is a 4.
The knight cries out in agony as the head of the axe bites deeper into his shoulder. Now both sides of his body racked and ruined under the attacks, the onslaught from the two of you. As you strike, you relax, grab the handle and wrench it free again, and pull it free of the wound as blood again erupts around the knight, his armour now coated crimson. Do you want to move or do anything else, or are you going to stand where you are?
I'm going to stand where I am.
The knight's cries of agony change into a roar of anger. He reaches down and, with numb fingers, grabs the sword on the floor and turns it into an upswing as he turns to attack you, Cecil. Does a unnatural 20 hit?
Yes.
Cool.
Oh.
He launches upward with the greatsword slashing across your chest, dealing a total of 10 damage.
That leaves me with -1.
Okay, so with the first, when the strike hits you, you feel this hot cut across your body. You reel backwards as a fountain of blood erupts, and you quickly lose consciousness, falling to the floor. He turns, having seeing you no longer are a threat. He turns to Sinclair. Sinclair does a 15 hit.
It does not.
He, having sliced upward and seeing Cecil fall, he quickly turns, switching to a downward slash and attempts to take you as well. Seeing it coming, you twist your body and it glances off the front of your armor. He stands defiant, blood gushing from his wounds, ready to take you down with him. Giliana, from outside the doorway, you see this knight cut down Cecil and knock him to the floor before he turns his attack on Sinclair. What do you do?
Oh dear. Can I see? Yeah, I can see him.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck it. I'm gonna get my my short bow out.
Cool.
Give it a
Just because I don't know if you've encountered this in our in real life game, but as well for our listeners, because you'll be shooting straight through line of sight through Sinclair, that isn't going to affect your attack. But if you roll a -1, or not -1, if you roll a natural 1, you're going to hit Sinclair. Just telling you that before you roll. But if you roll a natural 1, you're hitting Sinclair.
Wow.
Not unfair. He did hurt Twilight.
It'll do what it does.
Yeah.
Dice gonna do what dice do.
Yeah. Okay. 20?
That's 20 hits. 20 hits. Roll your damage.
Not a natural 20.
No, roll your damage.
Oh, okay. So it's a lot of dice.
Oh, because you also have an ally within 5 feet. Or, sneak attack. If the enemy was in 5 feet of an ally, you get advantage, isn't it? On sneak attack.
You don't need advantage on the attack if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet, so I don't need advantage.
So you still get the sneak attack, but it doesn't give you advantage. Cool.
No, but I still get the damage.
So yeah, you get your sneak attack damage, but no advantage. So you just roll your normal damage plus your sneak attack damage.
11 points of damage.
Giliana, you've stepped to the bottom of the stairs. You've caught the tail end of this combat. You've seen this knight, coated crimson in his own blood, cut down Cecil and turn on Sinclair. As Sinclair rocks back from the attack laid out upon him by this knight, you pull out your short bow and fire. How do you want to do this?
I want to shoot him right through his throat. So he goes all the way back and just slams to the floor. Just one clean arrow straight through the throat.
Sinclair, this knight has knocked down Cecil next to you. He's turned to you and laid out an attack across against you and knocked you back on your feet. You see him advancing towards you, screaming in pain and rage and agony. And as he raises his sword to continue his assault, you hear, and as an arrow passes over your shoulder, straight through his throat, and the force of it rocks him back onto the floor, knocking him down, dead. Combat is over.
God, that was pretty metal.
I'm going to give one quick reaction because obviously Cecil has been knocked unconscious. It's only been one round, so even if you rolled a natural one, you've still got 2 rounds to react.
Yeah, could I run over?
All I'm asking is who is helping him? Bearing in mind, Twilight, you can see over Giliana's shoulder.
Yeah, I'll run over.
Sinclair right next to him will, before he bends down towards Cecil, will clap his hands together. They'll start to glow, and he'll lay on hands and heal 5 hit points. So Giliana, Twilight, you see Giliana land this blow. You start to run towards the room, and as you do, you see Sinclair shake himself. You see his senses return to him. He looks down and sees Cecil and sort of goes, "Oh!" And you see him press his hands together, pull them apart, and they're glowing with this holy light as he leans down and touches Cecil. And Cecil, the last thing you remember was being struck down. And actually, we didn't quite get back to your turn, but in this moment that you're unconscious, you
your vision fades and you fall back and you hit the cold cobblestones. And there's just this moment of emptiness. And then a jolt. And your breath comes back to you and you feel this warmth flooding through you from your chest where Sinclair's hands have touched you, and you feel a tingling sensation as this divine energy flows into you and you jolt upright back into consciousness. Giliana, behind you, you can hear the people you've brought down murmuring and talking and looking over your shoulder into the room. And you're all now sort of stood about. Twilight, you're halfway between Giliana and the room that this all happened in. Before anyone reacts, can I have Sinclair and Cazisel make me a perception check, please?
Yep. As a 19.
That is a 6.
Cazisel, you're staring at the ceiling. You're contemplating your own mortality currently. Sinclair, you are hyper focused. You've made sure that Cazisel is alive. You've looked around the room and you're checking for threats. And you spot the chair that the knight had been resting in. It's a high-backed wooden chair, and in the very top of the chair's back, almost in an ornate mount sort of crest, is a large purple gem.
Interesting. Sinclair, in this moment, to point out, in the hyper-focus state, Sinclair's eyes are now just starting to weep, because of everything that's gone on. There are tears running down his face. He just sort of points towards the orb, to anyone who might be looking.
Oh, speaking of, do me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, I did well. I rolled an unnatural 20.
Yeah, you this time complete control. You not even bile rises. You're crying, but you don't feel like you're going to throw up, which is good. You point towards this thing. Giliana and Twilight from outside the room. You see Sinclair pointing at something while he cries. Cazisel is lying on the floor. You sort of prop yourself up on your elbows, and you can see him pointing at this orb in the back of the chair.
So I'll start walking towards the room and just be like, what? And I cannot stress this enough. The fuck just happened?
You walk into the room. You can see quite clearly the three guards. You see what is apparently by his dress the knight. You see Cazisel breathing heavily on the floor, blood coating his robes, but apparently alive. And Sinclair sort of like hunched over, hands on his thighs, sort of crying. But you can see he has just finished pointing at this chair that the knight was resting in, and you can see, even as you walk into the room, look where he was pointing, this large purple orb in the back of the chair.
Can I go and look at the orb?
Yes, you can. Roll me an Arcana check, please.
I'm good at those. That is a 21.
Damn. You can feel the magic from this orb. You can almost, again, being a divine caster, you're not tapped into the weave. But you can feel it as your magic and others' magic affects the world around you. You can feel it interacting with the weave and manipulating it to cause magical effects in the prime material plane. You can feel the magic from this orb reaching out like spiderweb tendrils, resting on top of the weave and reaching far into the distance. And with a roll of 21, in fact, you can feel it spiderwebbing and crackling towards the three guards in the room currently. You can feel these ever so slight, these tiny thin silken threads almost hanging in the air, reaching from this orb to the three guards on the floor and further still through the brick walls of the keep.
She's just going to stop and kind of be looking at it and wait to see people reacting, because she just doesn't really know yet, but is going to keep her eyes on it.
Okay, so Twilight is, she's looked at this orb. She can feel the sensation between, obviously, I'm going to assume Sinclair is still, this is all happened within a moment, Sinclair is still crying.
Yeah, Sinclair's not, he's not quite catatonic, but he's,
He's in his own head.
It's been a lot.
Yeah.
And because he's still gasping and just taking that moment in of what the hell just happened.
Yeah, you were unconscious for a couple of seconds. We'll give you a minute to recover. Giliana, you've got a bunch of people and you've got three friends What? Question mark. Who seem to be in a bit of an issue at the minute. Would you take the people you've rescued outside, or would you head into the room to assist your teammates? Question mark.
She's going to lower her bow. She's going to turn to the people and she's going to go, okay, I've gotten you this far. I need to sort some other things out now. So I'm going to trust you to be able to walk through. Okay, she's going to turn around. She's going to explain to go through the door to the left and then go through the other door to the right and then go through the kitchen, the dusty kitchen, by the way, guys. It's very dusty in there. Just if you have allergies, it's a nightmare. Go through that door and there's a door and it will take you out. It's unlocked. I unlocked it myself this morning and then you are free to go.
They all look to one another, look to you, they look a bit confused. The little girl looks to her mum as they also look back and forth, and then she runs forward and she like hugs you about the waist, and you just hear her say, "Thank you." And then she runs back to her mum, pulls on her mum's hand and starts pulling her towards the door. And with her sort of insistence, the rest of them sort of follow you. They all start murmuring their thanks. One or two of them say, "Please, help the others. We can't go back up there," before they also head through the door. After they've left, I'm assuming you head into the main room that the others are in currently.
Oh yeah, she's going into the main room. She's going to walk into the main room.
Yeah.
She's going to go, well, someone want to explain what the fuck just happened?
So between Sinclair and Cazizzo, one of whom is crying, one of whom is dealing with a near-death experience. Of the two of you, who do you think is going to come to their senses first?
We're just going to wait for an answer.
Cool, let's roll for it. Both of you can roll me a constitution check.
Well,
5.
7.
Okay. Still higher.
We rolled good. We
Sinclair, before Cazizzo stops hyperventilating, you manage to control yourself. You get your emotions under control. You manage to force the tears back. You come to your senses, and you sort of realize, Gilliana's asked me a question. She wants to know what the fuck is happening. You sort of get yourself into the position to answer that question. What would you do?
Yep, still sitting on the floor. He doesn't even put his head up, to look. I'm sorry.
I don't think it's me you should be apologising to. There's a series of events that are going to happen. The first thing is, you're going to get up and you're going to apologise for Twilight because she's not doing well. And all she was doing was trying to protect you.
Sinclair, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Be a nice natural one for you, dear.
Fantastic. There's something about Gilliana's tone of voice that just fucking snaps you back to your training as a paladin. She says, first thing is, you're going to just get up and you fucking snap to attention. You're on your feet. You're
even salutes.
Yeah, you're back into I'm doing what I'm told sort of mindset. She tells you, you're going to stand up. You stand up. You're going to apologize. You turn to Twilight. And at that point, you sort of like catch up to yourself and you realize, no, this isn't something I have to do on remote. I need to apologize. Like you're aware of that. Like, you've caught up to yourself. You fucked up.
Mm.
So what does Sinclair say?
Yeah, Sinclair is going to walk over to Twilight. There is no words that can describe what I did really, other than I majorly fucked up. I let a side of me that I shouldn't let control me, and I would never have wanted to hurt you. My sincere apologies as much as they can. I will try and make it right anyway. I'm not like that normally. I promise. I'm so sorry.
I have a lot of feelings right now, some of which might be internal bleeding. But I half accept your apology. We'll see how I've known you for like a day and a half at this point. So I don't really know your character, but I understand why, I guess. What are we going to do about this orb? We'll deal with you throwing me across the room like a rag doll at another point. I am going to lord it over you for a while, so get used to it.
Very, very well.
Just want to say before we go on to this orb, because the the orbs are something completely different that I can't even think about. I just want to say right now, we cannot, as a group, I can't do this if we're all going to split up and not think about anybody else. The way that I don't know about any of you guys because I haven't known you for that long, obviously, but the way I was taught was that we don't leave people behind and throw people against walls or under the bus. Or sorry.
Yeah, wreck on that. No such thing as buses. No such thing as buses. Wreck on that line.
Under the carriage, like we just did. Now, I'm willing to look past whatever the hell just happened because luckily, well, did one of us die? Nearly. We were really close to death.
Briefly.
It was very close.
I mean, I think what we've learned for this situation is we don't run off and throw our friends against walls.
You don't split the party.
And we don't split the party unless it's very, very meticulously planned out and we have discussed it first. Now, this orb, I don't know if this orb in here is anything different to what we have. There was 2 upstairs, we have one in a bag, and now we have one in here.
So I
don't know if they're any different.
I will say, Twilight, you know from having felt the one that you put in the bag and inspected the one here and your Arcana roll, you know they are different. They have different functions. You probably couldn't... Actually, you rolled quite well on both. You know the one upstairs is more to do with modifying or manipulating the people that are, being targeted by them. The one in the chair down here is for control. It's for, like, you rolled fairly well on this. You know it's for reaching out and interacting and controlling the people who are under the sway of this magic already.
Okay, so she's gonna, just readjust her hair a little bit, move her cape around a bit. Okay, so I vibe check the orbs, and...
Vibe check.
And the one in my backpack is dark-sided. Like, this is not... I don't know, I didn't want to mention it in front of those people because I didn't want to scare them anymore because they seem like they need years of therapy at this point. But I saw, 3 eyes when I touched it, and it felt really bad. And this one here just seems like it's for controlling people. Like, that's just the vibe I'm getting. I don't know, but I just get the controlling vibe. I've met people like it, and that's the vibe.
Oh, so just controlling people. Yeah. Sounds like a nice orb.
Well, compared to 3 stacked eyes in the back of my spine right now.
Oh.
What? It's almost like something's in the orb?
I mean, if you want to touch it.
I don't want to touch an orb.
Is the orb the same colour as the amethyst in the rings?
Yeah, without even really inspecting them, you can tell they look to be the very similar colour. Also, they look to be the same material, whether it's the exact same gemstone or whether it is a gemstone at all, they all look to be the same material.
Can I look at the prince and see if he was wearing a ring or any kind of other purple thing? Not prince, whatever his name is, knight.
Then, yeah, the knight, yeah, he does not appear to have any sort of ring, jewellery, anything on him that matches this.
So he was using the orb to control the people wearing the ring. Well, and in theory.
I mean, just because you, out of character, made that connection, roll an insight check in character.
Okay. Oh, that would be a natural 20.
Yeah, it's not even an impression, you just understand that whoever is in this seat is connected to this magic. They are able to control this magic in those who are connected to it.
Okay, I will pass that on to the group and be like, whoever sits in this controls whoever's wearing the rings, I think.
Did the knights who we cut down have rings?
The guards in the castle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't even roll an investigation check. Yeah, they do.
Interesting.
And as previous, now that they are dead, the rings are cracked.
Do we want to try and, I mean, I know it's probably a bad idea, but one of us could sit in the chair.
And have the 3 eyes look into their soul and take them over and corrupt them, maybe?
Yeah, maybe not you, because I don't want to get thrown again.
I don't want anything. I don't want to sit in the chair.
Oh.
Maybe we should just try and smash the orb up.
That's a good idea. Should we try? Also, does anyone want to look at this weird orb in my backpack, or am I just leaving it there?
Do you know what? Why don't we just try and smash that one up first? I'm going to try and take the orb out of the backpack that's wrapped in my thing, and I'm going to try and just throw it on the floor.
Well, while they're doing that, DM, Sinclair is going to have a think.
You have a think. In the meantime, if you're smashing that orb, roll me a wisdom saving throw at a disadvantage, please. I'm going to get one of these, I swear.
It's an atom bomb in my backpack.
Oh, dear. 6.
Lovely. You pull so sort of Twilight talks about this the other orb in her bag. She pulls their rucksack around, opens the thing, and says, talking about this other orb. You reach in, pull it out, unwrap it from your cloak. You pick it up and say, "Why don't we just smash this one?" And you just, before anyone can react, you spike this thing into the floor like a volleyball, and there's an eruption of violet light and sound, but it's not a physical sound. You hear it in your head without it ever touching your ears, a screeching, piercing sound like nails on a chalkboard, and you take 5 damage as this sound rips at your brain. Just Giliana. None of the rest of you hear this, or you see the bright light, but you don't hear this noise or feel this pain. You just see this bright flash and hear the cracking and tinkling of broken glass. And Giliana gets rocked back on her feet from this pain. None of the rest of you see, or none of the rest of you feel the damage, but you see the crinkling of broken glass and the thing as Danny gets rocked, or as Giliana gets rocked back on her feet.
Do I take any damage?
Yeah, you took 5 psychic damage.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's why I was like, fuck.
Don't do that.
Are you okay?
If you've got lucky, you could have got that from the last 3 times you've done this.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this is the same table I've been rolling from every time you fucking looked at them and touched them.
Wow, we'd be stupid.
But again, so Twilight, you see this happen, and again, you've rolled really high on both of these. You understand that the function of this orb that you just smashed is different from the function of the one in the chair. You can tell from looking at what happened to Giliana that is because of the function.
Because of what it does. Okay.
Yeah, what has happened is she's unleashed part of the magic of that orb, and it is lashed back at her.
Okay.
Again, with your roll, was it 21 you rolled in? Yeah. You know that the one in the chair, smashing that one will not have the same effect. You don't know what effect it will have, but you know it won't have the same effect. Because it has been designed to do something different.
That's what you get for reading magic books your whole childhood. Okay. Can the orb come out of the chair? Or is it in the chair?
You could, you see that it's set into part of the chair. It's like a jewel in a bit of jewelry. It can come out, but you'll have to pry it out.
Can I try and pry it out? I've got a sickle.
I mean, if you're going to try and do it with a sickle, you'll have to do so at a disadvantage.
Oh. Wait, let me see what I have.
I've got a mace. I can just hit it with the mace.
No.
I mean, no, just if you're trying to bring it through, what you want is either.
Could I try and investigate a safer way of trying to pry it open?
I mean, without even having to do an investigation check, it's set into the chair. You're wanting either some sort of carpentry tools or jeweler's tools, or at the very least, thieves' tools might help.
I have a crowbar.
I mean, a crowbar would allow you to pry it out. You wouldn't get any sort of proficiency bonus with it. You would just get a dexterity check.
I mean, I have thieves' tools.
Oh, do you have these?
Yeah, with thieves' tools, you could do it with your proficiency bonus if you want to try and pop it free.
I mean, I'll give it a go if you guys want me to.
Yeah, by all means.
I'll guidance you. Why not?
What do you get with guidance again?
A D4.
If you're really stupid listening to the Stinky Dragon, there's a druid in that who has guidance, and the way he gives guidance is slapping them on the ass, and that's all I can picture. Is every time you give her, I know you've described it, but all I can picture is Twilight smacking Giliana on the ass to give her guidance.
Hey, we'll see how their relationship develops.
Guidance.
17.
Okay, yeah, you with your thief tools, they're not designed for prying things, they're designed for breaking into locks and stuff. But you do have tools that are designed for getting into small spaces and moving things and prying things. You manage to get one behind the setting and just work it around a little bit until it comes loose, and you're eventually able to pop the jewel free of the back of the chair, and you're holding it. And again, even without being magically trained, you can feel a power in this thing, but unlike the other orb, when you touch it, you don't have the same sensation that you did previously. But you can feel some sort of magic contained within this one.
Oh, I think we broke the right one. I think this is the one that we should keep.
This is that one is the one that seems to be controlling things. The other one was malicious. This one is like, I don't know. It's got some different energy.
I'm going to put it in your bag. Twilight?
Cool. Yeah, sure. This bag was a good investment.
And I'm going to take my cloak out. I want it back.
Twilight, give me a insight check.
That would be 15.
You're pretty sure this orb is the one that's affecting the town and the people.
Maybe
From your understanding of the magic and the way it's spider webbing out and connecting to other things and affecting, reaching out and being able to influence the things around it, you're pretty sure your understanding of how that magic is working, it's the thing, it is the source of what's affecting this town.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it out of my bag and be like, you know what? I think this is the thing that's like messing everything up. Do we want to try and smash this one?
I don't want to smash this one, like me personally, but if someone else wanted to give it a smash...
Sure, and I'll just throw it on the ground.
How many points do you have?
Right.
Before...
No, before. Twilight. you say this, you say, smash it into the ground, and you just yeet this thing straight into the floor. It hits the stone cobbles of the floor and smashes. And there's a tinkling sound that seems to go on a little longer than physically should happen. The thing is smashed, it's broken on the floor, but this tinkling continues on for a second. And then there's a wave that hits all of you, and it seems to push this gloom, this darkness that's been hanging over you away. The room for a moment seems brighter. You feel lighter, you feel like a weight has been lifted off you, and it pushes outward, and you can almost feel this wall moving away from you out into the town. You don't know what's happened outside, but the oppressiveness that's been resting on you since you've entered this town is gone. You feel like yourselves, like you did 2 days ago. You feel that something has been corrected.
Do you all feel that?
Oh, yeah, I feel so much better than what I did before.
Oh my god. What?
The looming hatred's gone.
Did I just give everyone therapy? Like, what happened?
I take a deep breath before standing up, finally.
Isn't I?
Right, quick question. What is everyone's passive perception?
12.
9.
11.
13.
Gillian, you have, at this point, you've stepped up next to Twilight to look at this orb that you've pulled from the chair. And as as she's gone to smash the floor, you've instinctively stepped back, going, oh, fuck. And as you've stepped away, it's smashed. This feeling is washed over and you start to relax. And as you do, you feel a breeze. But it's not coming from the window in the room. The windows are sealed. They're grimy. They've not been cleaned in a while. They've not been opened. The room is stifling. It's not been aired out in some time. The air smells musty and stale. But still you feel a slight breeze. And as you track the source, you spot a crack in the wall, deep in the mortar, that appears to indicate that there's some sort of hidden doorway in the stonework here.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Does anybody else? I just felt this breeze, and there's a crack in the wall over there. Can you guys see that? Gilliana's going to point to where the hidden door is in the room.
Oh.
Well, Let's have a look.
Yeah, so Giliana points out, you guys can spot the crack. How would you like to try and get into it?
Sinclair will try and pull it open or whatever if he can.
Yeah, if you want to, you can try and find perches on the edge of it. You can, obviously, with it being sort of part of the wall, you can try and make a strength check at disadvantage.
Yeah, fuck it.
Actually, give you an actual skill, would say athletics.
Okay. Or I look at the 2 dice rolls. Let's check my modifier. 4. Oh dear. Well, my highest roll was a 5.
You just cannot get grip.
So
yeah, this is it's a slight break in the mortar that Giliana has spotted. There seems to be air passing through, but you cannot get grip on this with your fingertips. There's no way you're getting a hold of this to pull it open.
Oh.
Giliana, you had a crowbar.
I was just literally about to say I'm going to try and crowbar it open.
Okay, you can make a strength check at advantage with your crowbar.
Ooh. She's going to go step aside. Sinclair. Oh, holy shit. 14.
It's enough.
Ooh.
You've got the crowbar and you've found the purchase and you lever on it and it pops a section of the wall. You realise this, while it is still stone, it's a thin layer of stone that's been placed over a hinged doorway, and behind which is a small recess, inside of which is about enough room for the knight to stand at a desk. And on the desk are several books and letters littered across its surface. On the top of the pile of these letters and books is a recently opened letter. It appears to be addressed to the knight, and it reads, "My compliments on your work thus far, sir. The latest batch of recruits are the best we have received. You're doing great work for us. You will be pleased to hear the sorcerer will be returning within a few days hence, so that you may continue your work for us. He has told me that he has discovered a way to speed up the enchanting process. You will not be as limited by his work. He will be arriving from the north with 30 more trained men to help in your endeavours. We look forward to seeing further progress, as we are well on your way to beginning the next step. Signed, your benefactor."
Oh, shit. Guys, look at this letter.
Speed read it. Oh, shit.
Is there, what are the books on the desk?
Is there a date?
They appear to mostly be journals and notes. That none of them are like, novels or any sort of histories. They're like journals from the knight himself, which would take some time to decipher and understand. The notes were obviously written for him to read back. Even at a glance, you can tell these were things he wrote for himself. To understand what they actually mean would take some time to study.
So no smut then.
No smut.
Damn
no.
it. Is there like...
What was the time they said that the troops would arrive?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is there a date on the letter so we can kind of know when things are happening?
The note just refers to being a few days hence. Unfortunately, the letter hasn't been dated, so you do not know when it was received.
Okay.
Wow. Shit.
I'm going to take the note and I'm going to put it in my pocket with my other note.
All the notes.
As you stand in this audience chamber of the night, the words of the note weighing heavy on your mind, you realise that your task is far from complete. You've rescued most of the people from the village, but this contagion runs much deeper than you'd anticipated. You know that there is more evil heading towards this town, even as you stand here. And there is much to do to prepare, and much to do still in terms of helping those you were aiming to rescue. And as this thought weighs heavy on your mind, we will finish the session there. Well, that's it for another episode. Thanks for sticking with us. As usual, I'd like to thank Lixie B and Jeff for the wonderful logo and character art they created for us. the Stormweather Shanty Choir for letting us use their song Drunken Sailor as our theme tune, DN Dice for sponsoring us, and all of our wonderful Patreon supporters who have been helping us out. Just a quick reminder that we do still have our 2 competitions running, and actually on that note, I want to give a massive thank you to Luke and Amber, who have both been kind enough to leave us a review on 2 different podcasting apps. It really means a lot, guys, and we read all of these reviews and we take any feedback we get and try to improve. So thank you so much. But for anyone else, the 2 competitions or giveaways we're running currently are if you leave us a review on any podcasting app, making sure to let us know that you've done it, then you'll be entered in a giveaway to win a set of the Gold Chaos Dragon dice from DN Dice. Or if you tweet at us using the hashtag ModifedRoll, you'll be entered in with a chance to win a set of the Shepherd's Tempest dice from DN Dice. Full information for these giveaways can be found on our website, which you can find at ModifedRoll.com. But both giveaways do end this month. We'll be doing the draw for the winners of both on the, I think it'll be the first weekend of April, sort of the weekend beginning 2nd. We'll put announcements up on our Twitter and try to reach out and contact the winners of both giveaways. So you only have a couple of weeks left from the release of this episode, so if you want to get involved, best to do so now. But getting on to our recommended podcast this week, we are recommending the Dwarven Moss podcast. This is a standard D&D, well I say standard, bit of an unfair term. They're a D&D podcast. I've only got a few episodes in, but I really wanted to recommend this because I think it's very well done, it's very funny. The guys playing, it's only a 2-player 1DM game, and the guys really get into character and just make for a really interesting and just enjoyable listen. They start off playing a Curse of Strahd campaign, so as you can imagine, while it is quite funny, it's also very dark, but definitely recommend it. Go and check them out. That is Dwarven Moss. You can find them most places, anywhere else, but there'll be some info in the description. And finally, stick around when I'm done here, because after the credits roll, we do have a promo for the Journeys Adrift podcast. So stick around for that after I'm finished. But for now, that's everything. Thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you soon.
Initializing Waffles Maple Syrup promotion. Please enjoy.
Welcome to Waffle Maple Syrup's brand new Starfinder podcast, Journeys Adrift. Grab your space popcorn and join us for the wild journeys of these 5 characters. Starting us off is the prospective Madaloon herself, Zehavum T. Don't tell anyone, but she's on a journey for some classified Starfinder intel.
What? Who told you that? I'm absolutely doing no such thing.
Don't worry, this is all behind the 4th wall. It doesn't count. Next up is Dr. Lin on a journey to clear his name.
And for the last time, there are 4 tentacles in regular pants, of which there are simply 4 pant holes. That is correct. Hello?
That's not awkward. Let's see. Next on the roster, we have Tetsu, who is on a wholesome journey to happiness. Best of luck with that, buddy.
What do you mean, best of luck? That sounded sarcastic. Was that sarcastic?
Don't worry about it. Let's move along to our little friend here, Moat. Moat is on a research journey for drift technology. Who knows what secrets they'll find out there?
Right. You can't see me. Believe me, my visor's displaying a smile. Like I can't.
Sorry, bud. This is an audio-only format. Anyways, last but not least is the lightning rock himself, Eisen. He is on a journey for...
let me cut you off right there. I've got to find a cure for the circumstances happening to my body, or else I'm going to end up in pieces in the process.
Oh, well that sounds fun. But between you and me, listeners, there's a lot more journeys than these 5 happening behind the scenes. So join us and listen to Journeys Adrift on the Waffles Maple Syrup podcast and live stream to find out where these journeys lead.